Alrighty, guys, welcome to podcast episode 7 of the Gamers Show. I've been your host, Charlie K, and I'm here with Tegan, Jay, and Acid.
Hi, man.
G'day.
Yeah, g'day, bloke. Good intro there. That's the most manliest g'day I've ever had, Jay. Basically, we're back with another episode of the Podcast Gamers Show. We have been on a bit of a hiatus. You may have noticed that our last episode was back in 2021. For those that stuck around, thank you so much. For those that are new, welcome. This is the Gamer Show. We talk about all things gaming news and all the things going on in the gaming space. Mitch might be joining in later. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, we're going to do a special episode called The Revival. But before we get into that, what have we all been playing this week, guys?
Jamie and I started playing a game called Sea of Thieves, which has been very fun.
Yep.
It's pirates.
I've been playing.
Alright.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that's about it. We did try to start Fallout 76, but we didn't get far into that just yet. And I guess more recently, well, over the holidays, the Master Chief Collection. I finished the 5 games in that.
Wow, nice. Well, legendary or heroic?
No, just the middle difficulty. I just wanted the story, man. You know how it was back in the day, you know, on the Xbox 360, you had Halo 3 and, you know, just sort of living that again in Halo.
Feeling a bit nostalgic, weren't you, darling?
bit of a noob level, right?
Hey, look, I've finished Halo 3 with all the skulls on a legendary. I got my Hayabusa when I was like 13, so I'm still happy with that.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Acid, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a bit of Ark Survival Ascended and taming those dinosaurs, but I do get eaten every time.
Much cooler paradigm.
You spend your first 25 levels just being eaten by mosquitoes, literally that low level stuff.
Not if you're good at the game.
Oh, well played.
Touche.
Literally.
Yeah. I usually you just run from everything.
So it's basically a running simulator 2024.
I did that buying a server, and then I ended up with building a wood hut, and then for some reason an alpha raptor liked to destroy it, so I lost everything. But hey, you live, you learn.
Tegan died, I believe it was 17 times within, I don't know, 20 minutes, I think.
Yes. I got so mad at it. I was like, that's it. This game sucks. I'm not playing it. I just gave up.
Let me guess, she spawned in the snowy mountain.
I have no idea. He's like, here, come here. And I'm like, I can't get there. I keep dying.
She actually spawned on an island map, right? So I think we were playing on the map called the island, but on the southern section along the rivers. And she spawned, her literal first spawn was under a T-Rex.
Yep. I was like, I'm in and I'm dead.
Yep. She didn't know how she died.
It would have been funny if you just have like the Jurassic Park theme playing, like
Chomp, dead.
Gone in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I didn't get very far into that.
I just see her close the app and then right click uninstall.
I totally did. Never played it again.
Yep. It's like last time I was playing this shit. What is this? Gonna get a refund.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Well, I've been playing a bit of a mixture of games. So I've been playing. I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I know, a bit of a cycle like that. I'm playing a lot of the finals. You might have seen us streaming on our Twitch channel. Shameless plug. But playing the finals, it's been fantastic. If you don't know what the finals is, it's a game that's made from former DICE developers that made Battlefield 3, 4, and 1 and 5. When they went off to make their own game called the Finals, where it's pretty much ultimate destruction, blow up maps, drop cash boxes off. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And when I haven't been playing that, I've been playing the new Pokemon DLC. the Indigo Disc DLC, which is actually very interesting, very good. Terrestrializing your Pokemon, finding out the mysteries of it all, battling elite formers that are actually worth a challenge, and finding new Pokemon. It's actually been really, really enjoyable, actually.
Nice.
Cool.
It's a great thing to get into.
I've added the finals to my library so far. I haven't downloaded it though.
You definitely should check it out if you want a good, like, fast-paced FPS shooter that's consistently fun and challenging. Finals is definitely a game you should download, and it's free to play. It's also available on PS5 and Xbox.
Yep. If you want free therapy, you just play heavy.
Pretty much. I actually tried the PS5 version the other day, and God, it's awful on console. I'm not going to lie. And then, like, you try to switch your gadgets, and you have to use the touchpad on the middle of the DualSense controller, and it just doesn't make any sense the way it's mapped out. But
Is this the one you were telling me about that's like Apex, kind of?
It's from what I've read, it's a bit of a cross between like Apex and Call of Duty.
Yeah. I'm still addicted to Apex. You know that.
and you can blow up the buildings or cause damage to the structures.
That's why I play heavy, because I just use the sledgehammer and go around the beams, and then it just collapses on everyone while you're trying to cash out the box.
Nice. Does sound interesting.
I like getting the gas cylinders and launching like torpedoes into buildings. It's just fun as hell.
It does look super fun and pretty fresh too.
Yeah, I've been watching people on YouTube with the gas cylinders where they'll shoot the top of it and then they'll fly across the map on top of it and just explode.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I saw one guy, he grabbed one of those goo grenades, put landmines on it, and then put a C4 on it, and he just launches the goo grenade and then hits the C4 and blows up half the building and everyone in it. He calls it a nuke. It's pretty cool.
Something fun we discovered in Sea of Thieves is you can put yourself in a cannon and shoot yourself into the sky. That's pretty cool.
Or onto other people's ships if you're a good enough aim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, basically that. But you could shoot your teammates out to sea if you really wanted. Like if they get in there and they don't intend to shoot themselves anyway, you could just shoot for them. Launch them into the ocean.
It's like, you know what? You're just annoying me. Bang.
It has been fun, though.
It has been.
It's a new meaning to walking the plank.
Yeah, no, just fire the cannon.
Launching the plane.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing people get launched from the front and center, and people going past and be like, I got a jar of duh.
Well, we did have someone with a barrel of gunpowder jump on our ship and blow it up. And I was like, oh, wow, that's fun.
Yeah. They literally just, they send their ship full steam into you if you're anchored down right. And they just sit at the front of their ship and they hold their barrel of gunpowder. And unless you get to them fast enough to shoot them and blow the powder up while they're on their own ship, they kind of just run into you and commit suicide. And that's like, it kills everyone. And then they just respawn and take your loot. That's basically what happens.
The equivalent of wearing a suicide vest, but we come back.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a big drum.
I mean, it
looks like
was
a wine
effective.
cask.
We lost like an entire afternoon's worth of loot.
Would have been 40,000 gold, which you have to play the game to understand. It's not huge, but it's also not a small amount for us.
No, it took like a couple hours.
Ouch.
Yep.
It's definitely got to hurt the pride.
Yes. We were like, oh, not cool, bro, not cool.
I'm sure you were that calm.
Yes, I was. Didn't rage at all.
You just hear it like scream.
Actually, is this like a PG podcast? Because I got a bit of a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, you can say what you want. I'll just edit out or censor it if I need to.
Cool. So it has been a bit, but the first time we ever sort of experienced PvP in Sea of Thieves, we were running around for quite a bit. We chased a guy, they chased us, and then they finally like caught us, right? And then they're just floating past. We had a bigger ship. They had a smaller one, which is faster against the wind. So we were obviously heading into the wind. Their smaller ship was faster. Anyways, they come past. They just say, grab his cock. And we just hear that like sort of come up and then go down as they zoom past us. It's just the weirdest thing. Yeah, it's proximity
what?
chat. It's just, you can hear it. Oh no, it wasn't grab. It was like grab him in the cock or something like that. Anyway, but that was our first PvP experience. It's a strange bunch of people in that game.
Everyone gets real into the pirate theme.
I just think of that funny video where that guy's like, grab his dick and twist it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
There was the second time I had experienced any form of PvP. I was actually trying to do the blow up cask thing. And then I put it away and then I just floated in and I could hear him yelling at me from the beach because he was off his ship. And eventually I got closer and he's just like, are you friendly? Are you friendly? I'm like, yes. But anyway, I had the intention of blowing him up because I had been blown up multiple times, but I didn't. I'm too nice, I think. But it's a very funny game because it's all PvP and you never know who's actually friendly because truly no one is in Sea of Thieves. They all want your shit, bro.
It's kind of triggering me for Rust.
Yeah, I've seen some videos. It can be funny.
Oh gosh, Rust. My first experience was knocking on these two people's door and they're like, oh, are you a girl? And I was like, yeah, I just new to the game. They're like, oh, welcome in, we'll play together. And then so as soon as I walked through the door, they were playing their guitars and sacrificing me on top of a campfire, which is great. So first experience.
That's hilarious. Sorry. Oh, you're like rude.
It's like I was glad.
Put you off it for good. Just like me with the dinosaurs in Ark. It's like, nope, that's it. I'm done.
Exit scheme, right click,
uninstall. That's it.
Never saw again.
To be honest, I did that with Dark Souls.
You saw. Well, that's believable. Like, I would probably do the same. Well, anyway, moving on to topic there. Got a bit of a tangent. So basically, this week we're going to talk about games from back in the olden days of games that we'd love to see a revival of. Is there a hidden gem that you'd love to see a revival, or a game that you'd like to see a remake or a remaster, or even just a sequel be made? So got to open it up to Acid first. Acid, what is your game of choice for a revival?
Everybody knows I'm going to say LA Noire. I love being a detective, and it was more GTA style, so that's what I want to do.
So remake, remaster, or sequel?
Probably a remake.
Remake? Yeah. I know they did a remaster only recently. So, yeah, it's a good Australian game because it was made by Team Bondi that was part of Rockstar. So that'd be really cool to see an Aussie homegrown game see a light of day or a remake. Particularly the new engine that they got for like Grand Theft Auto 6, it makes sense. But yeah, like I could definitely see that being a good choice.
Yeah.
Acid's dropped off the chat.
And
yes, she has.
Well, we'll wait for her to come back in. I guess it's your turn, honey.
She just had to disappear.
Always a massive, massive fan of the Spyro trilogy. So when they actually remastered it, I was so excited, and it did not disappoint. I absolutely love it. I still play it over and over and over from the start. Never gets boring. So there were a lot of talk going on about a Spyro 4, which I would just love so much. But I don't know if it was actual real. It was just kind of chatter at this point.
Yeah, there is a rumor going around that Spyro 4 might see the light of day with the recent acquisition of Activision and Blizzard and King. Now that Microsoft now owns those IPs. So possibility of getting a Spyro 4 or a new entry in the Spyro franchise is quite high at the moment. I mean, and
yeah, I've got my fingers crossed for sure.
But I mean, rightly so, because I mean, with an IP like that, I don't think Microsoft would just sit on their thumbs for an IP like that. Same with like Crash Bandicoot. Like I doubt they would sit on that IP without making any money from it.
Oh, no, you've got hardcore like cult fans for those kinds of games. So, bringing out something like that, you could get all the older people back playing them. So I would definitely be keen for a Spyro 4. But I know there was like other kinds of games that had Spyro in it for a bit in the 90s, but it just wasn't the same as the original Spyro 3 Spyro games. They'd have to do it justice, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they recently did the remakes of when they reignited trilogy, and I would actually like to see a remake of the Eternal Night series. They did that remake with Elijah, not remake. It was like a reboot kind of with Elijah Wood at one point and David Spade playing the Dragonfly. That whole trilogy was actually, in all my estimation, pretty good. The story behind that was really good.
Yeah.
And having the different elements of different fire types and all that was pretty fun to mix it up with just having fire all the time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Very cool.
All right. Well, Jay.
What about Jamie?
Yeah, I guess it's my turn. Look, I have to say, I did just play Halo, the Master Chief Collection, and it had Halo 1 with essentially I guess like a HD upgrade. Not remake, but remaster. So that was actually pretty cool. I was going to say that one, but I did just play it. So I think I'd probably like to see the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, not just remastered, but remade with a new engine. As far as I know, it is being, remastered. So it'll have like all its HD texture packs and stuff like that. So there is another mob actually remaking it on the Skyrim engine, but it's an independent team doing it for free. So that'll be in the works for quite some time yet. But I think that'd probably be my pick otherwise, because like I said, I did just do Halo.
Yeah. Well, Halo, I think, deserves a remake. I know they've just released the Master Chief Collection, which was kind of like a remaster with new cinematics and all that, but I think it'd be great to have it fully upgraded to a newer engine. Like, I mean, they did that with a remaster, but it'd be great to have it like in the Unreal Engine 5 or something with proper HDR graphics. It'd look incredible if they ever did that. In saying that, though, I think Microsoft's very much focused on making sequels for that game now with the new Infinite storyline. But yeah, I think it's ripe for it, and Oblivion has a big cult following, so to get a remake of that would be amazing as well.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Every fan would probably buy that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I could see that definitely happening. Particularly, if Microsoft should do that to build more hype with, Elder Scrolls, is it 6 that they're working on? For like the one after Skyrim.
Yeah, but I mean, Skyrim, when did that get released? Like I think it's 2011, wasn't it?
2011, 2013. No, well, maybe it was 2011.
Yeah. And then no news for like 10 years, right? And then
it was 2011.
Then they started spreading rumors. Yeah. So it's going to be like 2030 before they release another Elder Scrolls game, I reckon. So maybe, I don't think it should be that long. I'm pretty sure 2026 is if I remember correctly, I think that's what I last heard.
Well, it makes sense to me. It wouldn't be too far away, I would imagine. I mean, because I think they made the announcement 2 years ago now, I think, that they're working on it. So I would imagine they would be at least 3/4 of the way through development by now, I'd imagine. Well, I guess it depends on when they started working on it, I suppose, but...
Yeah, I'd say as far as production goes, they probably had their story and stuff already set out, but all their animation and things, that's a different story. I have no idea what the timeline would be for that.
Well, yeah, Elder Scrolls, I think we touched on it before, but it was pretty funny because Todd Howard once said that, somebody asked him, was like, why do you keep releasing Skyrim on all these different platforms? Like, we've got it on nearly every platform now. He's like, because you guys keep buying it. You guys are sucker. You guys keep buying it, we'll keep releasing it. Until you guys stop doing that, we won't release it. So,
yeah, it's pretty much, hey, like, why? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
So if they pause another Elder Scrolls game and remake completely Oblivion. I'm happy with that as a fan, to be honest, man.
Yeah, well, it's one of those, like Elseworlds is one of those beloved franchises where whether they do a new one or not, it's still going to sell like crazy. I kind of feel the same with Grand Theft Auto would be the same whether they do a new one or not. It's still going to sell really crazy. I mean, well, now it's GTA 6, but even though that's a fair way off, like I don't see that coming out this year. It's probably going to be like 2025, 2026 before we see that come out. It's also crazy to think that Skyrim was also on 3 generations of console.
And it's also on Switch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. So how many? How many consoles does that put it on then? So we had. You're talking about Skyrim.
PS3. It was on Xbox 360. Yeah. It's on. It was PS4. It was on Xbox One. It's on PS5. It's on Xbox Series X and S. It's on Switch.
There you go. That's 9.
It's
just
on PC,
even there,
obviously, and I'm not sure if it ever released on Mac.
And not to mention how many editions of the game there are. Aren't there like 4 editions? So you had the release one, and then you got like VR, which didn't come first, obviously. Then there's a Legendary Edition
and Anniversary Edition.
And I'm a sucker. I'm pretty sure I have all of them on PC, every edition that come out. But funny enough, right, I actually got given the special edition. There you go. There's a special edition. I got given the special edition for free. I don't know where it come from, but I logged in ages ago and it was just there, just in my library. I never paid for it, so I don't know where that come from.
I'm sure somebody didn't give it to you by mistake.
Well, I'd have to accept it, wouldn't I? Like in the notifications of Steam or something.
Yeah, I have to accept gifts from you, like gift games from you.
Yeah, it was just there one day anyway. So I was like, score. So there's another 500 hours into the game on a new edition.
Nice. Well, I did actually, January sale that just happened on PlayStation. I actually went and bought the Metro trilogy. Like Metro 23, Metro
Interesting.
Exodus, and that was in Last Light. They had it on sale for I think it was like $8 for the entire trilogy. I was like,
damn. I've only got Last Light. That's all I've got. It was cool.
I played a little bit of Exodus and I loved it, but then I'm like, I had no idea what the hell was going on. So I was like, I should probably go back and play the original. Well, since mentioned Acid Art here, I might as well just talk about the game I want to get revived. I would love to, and this might be a bit of a weird one for horror enthusiasts, I would love to see the Fear franchise come back.
Oh, damn, dude. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I played... Which one did I play? I think I played 2 of them. Were there 2?
Nobody talks about the third one because it was awful.
So yeah, basically there was 2.
The third one was more of an FPS than it was horror, but...
Yeah, I didn't play the third one. No, but I played the first 2. I remember buying the original Fear when I built my first PC, like 2009, I think. Off topic, but I actually built it for World of Warcraft, a full over-the-top gaming PC just to play that crap game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on World of
Warcraft.
It's one of those. You shut up about it. This podcast will turn into a World of Warcraft podcast.
We'll stop there. But yeah, First Encounter Assault Recon. Yeah. That's what it was.
And then,
and Project Origin.
And then they had the DLCs
one.
for the first one, Percy's Mandate and Selling Protocol, I think it was.
Honestly, man, I sucked so hard at that game and I just couldn't play it well, but I'd like to retry it. You're right, man. That game was actually cool. Like, the fact was I just sucked at it, so I didn't get very far.
I loved it, even though I don't usually like playing horror games. That game gave me fucking nightmares for weeks, but the gameplay was fun and made it worth it.
I don't need sleep.
But yeah, it was different.
And the story alone was really good for the first two games. The third game, not so much. But that's
They're 9 out of 10 on Steam, the ratings, so people enjoyed them.
Tell you what,
Well, at
yeah.
at least one of them.
yeah, Lethal Company does that to me, but I still play it.
I don't think I've been left with any kind of impression from a horror game. Yeah.
well, it's been pretty much the Fear franchise for me, and Dead Space.
Oh, yeah, Dead Space. A little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit.
But that's why I liked that they actually remade Dead Space.
A remake, like new engine?
Well,
Okay, look, I'm not up to speed. I do know that they did have another release of it, the first one, but I didn't know it was a complete remake. I might have to get that.
yeah, it's a complete remake. I'm not sure how much of the story they changed because I've got it, but I haven't actually played it yet. It's just been sitting in my library, in my PlayStation library.
There's another couple games I used to play in the 90s. Like they were, I don't know, probably not big games, but I played them lots. It was like Duke Nukem and Siphon Filter. They were super fun. I just remember spending so much time on them.
I'd love a Duke Nukem. I loved playing the arcade original one. It was really good.
Like they would be so much
Should've
fun
been.
in like modern graphics and everything. I reckon it'd be awesome.
I've got another one. I've just remembered it. I'm not sure how many of you will remember, but Turok.
Yeah, yep.
Man, now that I think about it, that's probably another one. I played that heaps.
I think they are making a remake of that, aren't they?
I'm down. I'm keen. I'm going to look it up, but that would be pretty cool. It's a game that was made so long ago. Like I can only remember the first one. I can't even remember the next gen console. I think it came out on PS2 as well, but I no longer remember it. So for me, I'd be definitely a person to go buy it again.
It's funny because all of the bigger games that I wanted to be remastered all did get remastered like recently. Like you had like Crash Bandicoots and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It was such a favorite of mine. And like the Spyro ones, a lot of my favorite games got remastered. So I was, pretty happy I could have my childhood memories back and play them again. But like, did Metal Gear Solid ever get redone? I know they were talking about it there for a while, but
Not remakes. There's a remastered collection that's just come
yeah,
out.
that's right. That's probably the only other one that I haven't played.
Unfortunately, I don't think that'll ever get remade because of Hideo Kojima's troubled history with Konami. So I doubt Konami would want to publish anything under the Metal Gear brand until at least they figure out the story anyway. Because Hideo Kojima and Konami had a massive fallout, and it's ever since Metal Gear's been kind of a hard franchise for them to handle.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is a shame
I
because
only
it was such a good game too.
I only ever played Snake Eater. I think it was the second one, maybe.
That's the second, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the second one.
I did enjoy that. It was different, but I liked it.
I never really got into them, to be honest. Like everyone, like all my friends in school and stuff used to play the crap out of them, but I never saw the appeal. I just never really got into it.
Well, since we were talking about it, I'm just watching the most recent Turok video I could find. So 2008 was the release, and it looks like it's basically on an Xbox, like the original Xbox. So I think a lot of these games that I played when I was a kid, I'd probably rebuy, honestly, if they were remade on new engines.
Like I'm pretty keen for Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake.
Oh yes, that does look good.
That was cool.
That actually got announced by Ubisoft 3 years ago now. We haven't had anything since.
Yep.
They haven't had any trouble, have they?
Well, what happened was going 2 years ago, they didn't like the direction that the crew that were working on it were taking it. So then they decided to pull the plug and restart it from scratch. So gave it to a different studio under the Ubisoft brand, but we haven't had anything since. Same with Beyond Good and Evil 2 as well got announced a while ago as well. We haven't heard anything since that either.
Yeah, okay. Might have to do some researching and find out what might be holding them up. They did just release The Lost Crown, I think it was called, like a platformer style Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I think that comes. It's that comes out next week or this week. So yeah, I was just talking about Prince of Persia. I just found an article as of November last year, saying that they've hit an internal milestone and development is progressing. So they are still actually working on it.
Did they not just make a remake for the Nintendo?
That's The Lost Crown. That's a different one. That's a spin-off.
Okay.
It's not the actual original story. Yeah, because when I first saw like the main character, I'm like, what have they done to Dastan? Oh, that looks terrible.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit cartoony for Prince of Persia.
And then I looked into it and it's like, no, it's a different character entirely. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine then.
I thought the exact same thing.
Which that game, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown's actually getting pretty good reviews. From what I can tell, Prince of Persia got an 8 out of 10 according to IGN. But, if you trust that credibility. I don't know. IGN, I've never followed any of their reviews because ever since they did that review for Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they gave us 7.8, too much water. I was like, okay, that's it. Yeah, reviews, it's shit.
Okay, last one from me, but what about Unreal Tournament, the original sort of Battle Royale style thing?
Yeah, yep.
That's probably another one that would be pretty cool to come back.
Bond 007. GoldenEye.
Wow, that's been done to death. They've remade it twice. I would love, just trying to think of. I would love like a Battlefield 3 remake. That'd be great. Updated graphics, more destruction. Just really to release that, everyone would be happy.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely.
I felt a bit wrapped off on the latest Battlefield when I pre-ordered it.
Yeah, the hype around that was fantastic. And then as soon as the game came out, it was like, what is this?
So disappointing.
Yeah. And we played it for a bit and it was like, I didn't mind it, but it definitely is not the strongest Battlefield game.
Is that 2042?
Yeah, I kind of feel like, Battlefield went in a strong direction around the Battlefield Bad Company 2 to 3 era. It was super strong. It was going great. Battlefield 4 carried it on. Wasn't as good as 3, but it was still pretty good. Battlefield 1 was fantastic. And Battlefield 5, that's where it started to go downhill. Battlefield 5, to me, felt like it was just a big DLC for Battlefield 1. It didn't really feel like a new game.
No, I think just with the change of everything happening around that time, Battlefield 3 was a little, it was a bit different. They had a whole bunch of new things, and I guess it's hard to expand on that now because, we've hit a lot of the things. The point now is more just copying stuff, it seems like.
It does feel a bit like that sometimes.
Yeah, to a degree, but then you look at games like The Finals, where the guys worked on the previous Battlefield, and look what they're doing. Their games hit like 100,000 concurrent players all the time. And they haven't done anything new. They've just added destruction like Battlefield used to have, and they've just changed the game formula a bit. And if you think about it, it's like the game formula for The Finals is basically a glorified version of the rush mode in Battlefield.
Yes, I suppose you can only do so much with some things.
Well, that's why everyone used to play the original Modern Warfare. It wasn't just the multiplayer. Like the campaign was actually really solid. Everyone wanted to know what happens with Soap and Price, the whole betrayal, and all that kind of stuff. They were invested in the game, not just the multiplayer, but in the campaign as well.
I would like Battlefield and COD to bring back a proper, like a good campaign story for once. That's what I would like because it's something different. You can have multiplayer and the campaign with a good storyline.
Oh man, main characters dying. My top of my list is Dom from Gears of War. I think about it still to this day. It's PTSD, right? I'm like, Dom, they killed Dom.
Oh man, PTSD coming back. Oh jeez.
So funny how we get so attached.
It's all right. I felt like that in The Last of Us. Oh my gosh.
With Joel. With Joel.
Yeah. Oh, I cried so hard.
I think I was more blown away how attached I got to Sarah dying in the first 10 minutes of The Last of Us. It's like this game's just started, this little girl gets shot. I'm like, what the hell am I in for? This is brutal. I'm like, I don't even know who these characters are, and I'm already feeling emotional.
I finished the first part, The Last of Us, when it first came out on hard in 3 days. Oh, I just binged it. The storyline was so good.
You should play the remake of it. Last of Us Part 1 remake, they actually changed some of the controls to be more in line with number 2, and it changes the whole gameplay. It's actually really good. Like, it's gotten even better.
The giraffe scene, oh, nostalgic.
Thank you,
It's like, I'm at a zoo, but in the zombie land.
There's so many good moments in that, and like, you know, Ellie taking on David, and when she gets separated from Joel, and it's really good. The whole Left Behind DLC, where she gets left with her girlfriend, basically.
Right. I just like how you had a bit of a mix where you played together or you played as one or the other. Like it wasn't just the same character over and over.
And, you know, seeing that moment when Joel falls into that spike, and then next thing you're playing as Ellie, and you're like, wait, did Joel just die? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, you're guessing, like, is he dead or just such a good game to play for a good storyline.
And I loved reading, like, not just in the gameplay, but reading the notes as well, and seeing the backstory of, like, Captain Ish and the school children in the sewers, and, you know, teaching them, and then finding out, like, they had all died and stuff like that. And how the downfall of that happened. I really would have loved the TV show to dive in that, but then they kind of missed that story, unfortunately. But it was definitely kept it interesting. Anyway, well, welcome to the Last of Us podcast.
Such a good game. You can't not talk about it.
Make any opinions? I know I've never played it.
What? You get it on PC right now. Do it.
Right now.
Strap in.
Stop what you're doing. Just get it.
Stop the podcast play now.
Maybe when it's on sale. What about did anyone play the first Mass Effect?
Yes, dude.
I am not keen on Mass Effect. I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, maybe this one's just for Charlie. Caden or Ashley having to pick between the male and the female during that scene where you play at the nuke. That was a bit of a tough one.
I would agree, but I think the third one takes the cake when what's his Morden? I think it is
Morden Solus.
What's his name? The scientist dude. He ends up killing himself to save the Krogans. Like, it was a choice.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I only remember Morden.
Yeah, maybe it was Morden. I don't know. I'll have to look up the war. But yeah, having to choose between him and the Krogans dying out, and I was like, this sucks as a decision, but it's good.
To be fair, it's a huge game.
I'm still with Tegan. Dom was probably the one that hit me most because I didn't actually expect it at all.
This came out anyway.
No, and I think it was more emotional for me because I played 1 and 2 all the way through by myself, and I loved it. And at that time, when the third one came out, my nephew was just getting to that age where he could start playing more aggressive games, I guess. And so I said, hey, dude, do you want to play this series of games with me? We can play the first one and the second one. And so we played through the campaign together, and he was Dom and I was Marcus. So when the third one came out, and he was so excited, like I'm talking like a little 11-year-old kid, all excited to play the third game with me. And so we started playing it, and then when Dom dies, who was his character, he actual cried. And he looked at me and he's like, Auntie, is Dom really dead? And I was like, I think so, buddy. And we were just so emotional because I found out with my little nephew, and so I'm really attached to it for sentimental reasons.
On that topic, I think that's also good writing and character development.
Yeah.
Maybe some of that's
I would
lacking
agree.
from a lot of newer games.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of new games are just thrown together.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, and that's where the crunch comes into it with a lot of these game developers, where they're just throwing games out there and hoping that, they can make a ton of money out of it, rather than, investing their time in to make well-written stories and making the game around those well-written stories.
If we take a classic example, or the most modern example, I should say, Apex and Respawn. So not necessarily the devs causing that kind of issue, but the push from the stakeholders. So the financial stakeholders probably pushing to get stuff out early too, unrefined.
Yeah, well, definitely, because, these investors, they're not caring about what the gamers actually want. They're just caring about what's going to make them the most amount of money and how quickly can we push it out.
Yeah, like just hype it up, throw it out, get the money, move on.
Perfect example is the whole Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
The developers told the publisher, said, we're nowhere near ready to push this out. We can't release it. We need more time. They're like, no, we've promised everyone the holiday series. Let's just push it out. You can release a big patch and it'll be fine. Big patch comes out day one, still didn't fix any of the problems. Game released broken, everyone hated it, and the hype for the next project from CD Projekt Red died with it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you fix it at that point, you've already lost everyone's interest. People, like gamers, don't go back to something when they've had a bad experience. Just like me with Ark. I had a bad experience, and I probably could have liked the game if I stuck to it, but I had a bad experience and was like, that's it, I'm done.
That game, I think, is very particular because you can spawn anywhere. Even if you're playing with someone, you never know where you end up, and that's going to be the hard thing. And unfortunately for you, T-Rex fucking chomp. That's it.
Exactly. But
and
then it ruined it for me. Like, if you have a bad experience with a game, you don't go back to it. So with, devs trying to rush everything and people trying to rush everything, you can ruin an entire game franchise because you never know what could have happened with that game. It could have went on to make more and more,
Well, that's exactly it. Like you release a game, people have a jump in it. Bad experience, they go, fuck this game. No, this game sucks.
Yeah.
That's it. Never go back.
Install it, close it, completely forget about it. A few months later, you're like, oh, we've got the new DLC, like Cyberpunk did with Phantom Liberty DLC. Sure, it would have fixed the game, it's all good, it makes it all run smooth as butter. Guarantee half those player base would never get the DLC and never play that game ever again.
No, that's it.
I feel like if you are a new person to Ark, that you really need to have friends on your side that have played it to teach you, because it is a lot. It's like an encyclopedia of actual survival stuff you need to figure out and build and all that sort of stuff. But I also think, these big brands that are failing are opening a lot of doors to a lot of indie games that people have been developing. Oh yeah,
100%. Like there's a ton of indie games that have come out that have actually been really good. I mean, close to that, if you ever go to PAX in Melbourne, there's tons of indie games on the floor, and you'll play them, and you'll go, "This game is freaking cool. I want to play this game." And then unfortunately, because there's not much promotion or people promoting them, and they don't know how to promote it, nobody's really playing them.
I'd like to bring up an indie game that I tried out a while back. I'd been seeing it for ages. It's called Brothers. I think it's A Tale of Two Brothers or something like that. It's in my library. Let me just find it.
Tale of Two Sons. They're doing a remake of it actually next year.
Actually, that was a very good indie game. So it is nice to see some of those smaller developers when, where actually I did it because I had the shits with some of the bigger games. I felt like nothing really fresh was coming out. So I gave it a shot and it was actually great.
If you want another good indie game, A Plague Tale Innocence is very good, and Requiem is also really good. A Plague Tale Requiem, the sequel. It's on Game Pass, actually. You can probably play it now. Both are very good games. They're kind of stealth, but the story is very good. So So definitely worth checking out. Hades is very good. Celeste is a very good story-driven game. Towerfall Ascension is a really fun multiplayer game. We have like bow and arrows, and you try to shoot each other and villains and stuff like that. And Shovel Knight. Like Shovel Knight is amazing. You should definitely play Shovel Knight.
I do love Shovel Knight. Yeah.
It's a good 2D platformer, and it's just a lot of fun.
What was the indie game with the Mexican wrestlers or something like that? You can play multiplayer, and it's almost like a platform game.
Guacamole.
Yeah, Guacamole is a really good indie game.
Okay, you know what would be a good game to get remade? Total Overdose. I don't know if any of you know that game, but it's a fantastic game.
No, I don't.
No, can't say I do.
It's a third party. Third person shooter. The soundtrack on it is phenomenal, and it's just a ton of fun. It came out on PS2 and Xbox back in the day.
Right. When I was
a young warthog.
teenager,
Pineapples.
when I was a teenager, my dad got me my PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, like chipped, broken, whatever you want to call it.
A modded tip.
And yeah, so he had a friend who would just burn me games constantly, and so he would just bring home stacks of games at a time. So I got so overwhelmed with trying new game after new game that all of it kind of blurs into one, because I just tried so many different games when I was younger. But there was this one that was called Smash Court Tennis, and it was just tennis, and it was super cute, but the tennis ball was a bomb. And so every now and then it would just like, you go to swing and hit it, but it did explode. And yeah, it was just funny. But it's funny how you can get these like memories of just a specific game that you just played over and over. And it's not like a big, massive thing that anyone else would remember. But I get these memories of all these little games that I tried back in the day.
Yeah. I would love like Bomb Man World to get a remake. That'd be great.
I'm pretty sure they're releasing a new Bomb Man.
Yeah, Bomb Man R2, I think, which I think it's already out.
I kind of feel like that with Abe's Odyssey, and then when they remade the game, I haven't played it yet, so I feel like I really need to download that game.
Oh, yeah, Oddworld New and Tasty. And then they did a remake of called it Soulstorm, which is a remake of Abe's Exodus.
Yeah, I remember as a kid when my brother was playing it, I couldn't play it alone because it would scare the living daylights out of me.
Oh, I'm not the only one then, because yeah, my sister used to play it and it would give me nightmares. And so my mum like banned her from playing it, and she was so mad at me. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's too scary.
You just dream about the farts in your sleep.
What?
I don't know what. I don't know what about it. It just freaked me out.
Oh.
Yeah, I was really little when she was playing that though. Like I was like maybe 6 or 7.
Those are the games I kind of grew up with. And Disney Hercules. Do you remember playing that?
I love Hercules.
Disney Hercules, man, was the best.
Yeah.
I have the Lion King and Tarzan when they brought it out on PS4.
Oh, yeah.
It's like not remastered at all. It's completely the same as it was. And so I thought, oh yeah, I'll play, Lion King and Tarzan. And I remember these games. I used to love them, but they're actually super hard.
Oh, they
I
really
felt
are.
like they were Crash Bandicoot.
Right? I was like, why is this so hard? I used to play this as a child.
Yeah, there's a lot of games like that. You play it when you're younger and you're like, no wonder why I stopped playing it and never finished it. This game is ridiculously hard. But you play as an adult now and you're like, this is still really hard.
Yeah, it's still really hard. Yeah, I haven't finished either of them because they're really difficult.
And back when there was no unlimited lives or anything, it was literally like, you got 5 lives, that's it, game over, start the entire game again.
start again, right? Like, how many
Yes.
times can you start again before you get sick of it?
It's just
I tell
But,
you
like-
what, Medieval was a hecker of a game.
oh yeah, medieval, so good.
Loved it.
There's so many good classics from the PS1 era. I would love a remake of Overboard. Overboard was a really cool top-down pirate ship kind of game.
Okay.
It's really good.
What was that cube one that you used to play all the time and no one could crack it but you?
Oh yeah, the Japanese version's called Karashi, but in the UK, it's called Intelligent Cube, which is it's a good puzzle platformer. I never used to figure out how to play it when I was a kid, but as I got older, I worked it out, and so I actually quite enjoy that game. It's a good puzzle game.
Yeah, I like the puzzle games.
Oh, you get squashed by the cubes.
Yeah, I love good puzzles. Like, what's that one? When just trying to think of the name. It's almost like you're doing in like a story mode, but you have to do like symbols and stuff, and we figure it out.
I can't say I know.
That's like nearly every puzzle game, Jenny.
I know it's really hard. Like I can picture it in my head, but I can't remember the name of it. I'll probably remember it later. You watch, and I'll probably text you.
Just send me a screenshot of it and be like, "This is what it was."
There was this game, it was for PS2, and it was like an old anime game. You played as a princess who had like been framed for murder or something of her king, of her father who was the king, and so, you were in this like abandoned mansion. You were hiding out, and people were trying to come get you, and you would set these traps. And so you would have this period of time where you could lay traps any way you want, and you'd have to figure out how to best put the traps out so that when the people came into the mansion to try and come get you, they would just be like impaled and stuff. So I used to play this game all the time. It was actually really fun. But you had to, lay these traps out in a certain way where you were safe from the people trying to come get you. But that was like a nice puzzle game because you really had to think about best way to lay these traps.
Ooh, not familiar with that one.
Wow, I never heard of that one. I want to play it.
It was super fun, really anime style, kind of gothic. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was called Trapped, Trapt. Yeah, it was a good one.
Like the bands? Headstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was definitely a good one. I played it a lot.
oh, yeah, here it is, Trapped. On PS2. It came out in 2005.
Oh, 2005. It's later than I thought.
Yeah, it has a rating of 8 out of 10 on IMDb.
See, it was good. It was so good.
Also known as Kakura 2 Dark Illusion.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, okay. So the Japanese version's called Kaguru. But in the US and the UK, it's called Trapped.
Oh, there you go. I just knew it as Trapped. Yeah, I used to play it as a teenager. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I played it over and over. It was like something that was just a good puzzle. I guess if it got 8 out of 10, the other people agree. Just a good puzzle game to really think about where you put the traps and how they worked with each other and stuff.
It's part of the Tecmo's Deception series. There you go. There's actually a whole bunch of sequels as well under the Deception title.
Well, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
The main character's name in it is Princess Allura, and like I was such a fan. I was like, when I have a daughter, her name's gonna be Allura. I was like so obsessed. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call my daughter after this game. Yeah, that didn't happen.
You know what's funny? The Japanese version, her name's Alicia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, apparently there's like 6 or 7 Deception games.
Wow.
There's whatsoever. But there's 4. Sorry, it's 4 of them, but there's spin-offs. So there's Tegan's Deception and Invitation to Darkness, then Kagero Deception 2, Deception 3 Dark Delusion, and then there's Trapped. That is Deception 4 Blood Ties, Deception 4 The Nightmare Princess.
Right. I did not know there was that many. All I remember is just playing this one game
But
over and over again.
The Nightmare Princess is just it's a DLC expansion to Blood Ties. Yeah, there we go. Wow. The more you know.
The more you know. See? It took me the longest time to even remember the name of that game. I was like, God, what was that name? I loved it.
So alrighty, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up there. We're hitting the 57th minute mark, so wrapping up there. What are you guys playing this week? What are you guys planning on playing?
Always Apex. I can't not.
It's Apex all done.
It's just Apex.
I've been contemplating whether to purchase ABC Murders on my Nintendo Switch.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
I got the Christie as well. I got Christie ABC Murders.
I don't know. I think he plays a detective and then like he solved these crimes like homicides and stuff.
I think that what is funny is when people talk about Switch, they always say Nintendo Switch, but they don't say, like, when you talk about any other console, then they go Sony PlayStation or Microsoft Xbox.
Yeah. Sony PlayStation.
I'm going to play the Sony PlayStation.
The Sony PS5.
The Microsoft Xbox Series X. I mean,
but you can't really shorten Switch apart from Switch.
Nintendo
I'm going to
Switch.
play the Windows PC. A Windows 10 PC.
Well, you play on a Windows, I play on a Mac. Sorry, Apple Mac.
I play on my Samsung smart fridge.
One day we may be able to. You never know.
One day they'll pull
I play on my Oppo.
They'll put an Xbox Game Pass on the Samsung smart fridge. Bluetooth the controller to it. There you go.
Yep. I would believe it.
It's like that guy that's really trying to play a game on the wall Samsung TV, and it's the biggest and longest TV in the world.
So, yeah.
Run from one end to the other.
Someone at Sony hooked up a PS1 to a 180-inch TV in their hand.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so pixelated.
You just see this. You just see the Sony logo pop up and just like, wow.
Oh my!
It's like,
It'd be like playing a potato on a TV.
Oh, wow. Oh, man, I tracked down like an old PlayStation and I bought Spyro. I desperately wanted to play it that bad, like way before the remasters came out, that I went through all that whole process and I played it on a newer TV and I was like, wow, I enjoyed this. And I was like, this is terrible.
I tell you what's so bad is like those old TVs, you know, the big blocks.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that turn it on and I didn't notice how much static you can hear from one room to the other.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because...
It's funny, those things you don't remember. Like when you think back on those memories, you don't remember those moments or it being like that. And now you look back on it or you experience it again and you're like, wow, this was really lame. or this was really like difficult or, you know.
In your memory, like when you first play the game, you're like, wow, graphics are amazing and this game looks amazing and so good. And you know, played it on a CRT
That's
TV.
right. Can you believe how clear it is?
It's so cool. The graphics are insane.
Yeah.
It's just like that phase of everyone like having Tamagotchis and it's so cool to look after a digital pet and now you're like, I can't even be bothered waking up.
Yeah, who's got time for that? Come on.
Sorry, I've got to stop the meeting. I've got to feed my Tamagotchi.
I could not live without my Tamagotchi back then, though.
For me,
I was like, wait, I've got to feed him.
For me, it was a Digimon. We went around the school and battled each other on the Digimon.
Or Beyblades at lunchtime. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the nostalgia, but yes, it was ridiculous the things we did.
You go, like, this game's amazing, and you start playing it now, and you're like, this looks like dog shit. What is this? I can't even see a pixel. Why is all the pixels square? What is going on here?
Or you wait for the street light to light up your Game Boy screen.
Yeah. Those struggles.
Well, it's so much easier this day and age, and we've got more games than we could even, try them all.
Exactly, yeah. Well, on that note, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast for this week. I've been your host, Charlie. I've been here with Acid, Jay, and Tegan.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, see ya.
And don't forget to tune in next week. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Buzzsprout. Next week, we'll be talking about Nintendo Switch 2 rumors that have been circulating around on the internet, and all the things we'd like to see in the future of Nintendo consoles. So be sure to tune in for that one next week. And with all that said and done, we'll see you on the next level.